Hi, good evening. Welcome to Bedtime Bible Stories with Nikki. Keep in mind, the show is not friendly. Not family friendly. I mean, I guess it's kind of friendly. But if you want to hear Bible stories in the greatest way possible, come along with me and press like and subscribe. And if you are not new here, press like, then take your pills, pack your bowl, or roll a joint, whatever we're feeling like tonight. Grab your, my cats are high. Anyway, take your pills, pack your bowl, roll a joint, whatever. Grab your smokes, get comfy. Make sure you have your bedtime beverage, your reward for the evening. And then, keep in mind, don't get butt sore. And then let's smoke it, drink it, and read it. We are on John chapter 18. See, I was hoping that we weren't going to have to read about his death early in the morning. Oh, yeah, by the way, the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. So, Patrick Mahone has that. And we're going to be reading about Jesus being arrested while they celebrate. Um, so when Jesus had said this, what did he say? Motherfucking fuck. What did he say? I made known to them your name, and I will make it known that the love which you loved me. Okay. So Jesus is talking about how he loves his apostles. But I think his disciples were also here. So he might just be talking about all of his disciples. And then when he said this, Jesus went out with his disciples across the Kidron Valley to where there was a garden, into which he and his disciples entered. Okay, so I'm guessing Jesus left his house. Because wasn't he at his house at this point? No. Wasn't he in the upper room? Yeah, I'm guessing he was still in the upper room because they had just celebrated Passover. And he was hanging out with Lazarus. So Judas, his betrayer, also knew the place because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. Yeah, but when was that ever written about? That was never written about. See, I never understood this part because even in the movies, it's like, how does Judas know where the fuck he is? And then in here, it's like, how does Judas know where the fuck he is? And then all of a sudden, he knew the place. But nobody ever wrote about Gethsemane ever before or ever again. But okay. So Judas got a band of soldiers and guards from the chief priests and the Pharisees and went there with lantern, torches, and weapons. Yeah, but why though? See, these people are out of fucking control. Weapons. Jesus knowing everything that was going to happen, went out and said to them, "The fuck are you doing?" And they answered and said, "Jesus the Nazarene." And he said, "Listen, why he's such a troll. He's about to die and he gives no shits." He said, "I am." Judas was also there. And when he said to them, I am, they turned away and fell to the ground. That's a bit dramatic, don't you think? So he again asked them, "The fuck you doing?" And they was like, "Yo." And Jesus said, "I told you that I am. So if you were looking for me, let these men go." Jesus with the bargaining chips. But this has never said this in any of the other books. That they didn't, it said they didn't arrest it. The other books said nothing about them arresting other people. Okay. So this was to, this was what to, this was to fulfill what he had said. "I have not lost any of those you gave me." When did he say that? I don't know what it means. And then Peter! Fucking Peter! Oh, Peter. And Peter, who had a sword, drew it and struck the high priest's slave and cut off his right ear. And his name was Malchus. Yeah, but I thought it was he cut off the priest's ear. I never said anything about it being a slave in any other book, but okay. And then Jesus said to Peter, "What the fuck are you doing? I have to do this. I went and got myself killed on purpose. Fucking quit." So the band of soldiers, the tribune, and the Jewish guards seized Jesus and bound him and brought him to Annas. He was the father-in-law of George Soros's ancestor, who was high priest that year. This guy. It was Caiaphas who had counseled the Jews that it was better that one man should die rather than the people. Yeah, but how the fuck do you know that? You don't even know that. See, just like the Pope making up rules for no reason. What a douchebag. Anyway, Peter's first denial. Here we go. Remember, Peter was going to die with the Lord. Remember, that's what he said. "I'm going to die with you." So let's see if Peter's a coward. Okay, I won't say that. I won't say Peter's a coward. I'll just say I very much dislike him. So Peter and another disciple, in my mind, I think it was Lazarus. And they followed Jesus. Now the other disciple was known to the high priest, and he entered the courtyard of the high priest with Jesus. He was known to the high priest and entered the courtyard of the high priest with Jesus. Okay, so maybe not Lazarus, because remember they also want to kill Lazarus. So who do you think it could be? Because it wasn't Peter, remember, because Peter was outside. So who do you think it could be? Are they considering Nicodemus a disciple? Okay. I don't know what other disciple it could be. But Peter stood outside. Keep reading, Nikki, you asshole. So the other disciple, the acquaintance of the high priest, went out and spoke to the gatekeeper and brought Peter in. Okay, this is the only time it says that too, that Peter came inside. Then the maid, who was the gatekeeper, said to Peter, "Aren't you one of those dudes?" And Peter's like, "Nah, I don't know that guy. I don't know that guy. I want to see brutality." Okay. Now the slaves and the guards were standing around a charcoal fire that they had made because it was cold and were warming themselves. And Peter was also standing there keeping warm. Here we go. The inquiry before Annas. Or is he calling himself a girl's name? You know what? We're just going to call him Anna, and we're going to give him a blue bonnet. His name is Annas. He's on lipstick. Uh, his name is Anna. He's on lipstick and a blue bonnet because he deserves it. And this douchebag questioned Jesus about his disciples and about his doctrine. And Jesus said, "I spoke publicly to the world. I have always taught in a synagogue or in the temple area where all the Jews gather, and in secret have said nothing." So, are they saying, is he saying that he's always been here? Like he didn't just spring up out of Syria and Egypt, like the Celtics say. He just came out of Egypt or whatever, Samaria or something. Because he's saying here, "I have always taught in a synagogue or in the temple area where all Jews gather, and in secret I have said nothing." Or was he always a traveling preacher? Are there traveling preachers? We need to have traveling preachers. Okay. And then he says, "Why ask me? Those who heard me, what I said to them, they know what I said. Just because you don't, you've had the smarts educated right out of you. That's your own fault, idiot." When he had said this, one of the temple guards standing there struck Jesus and was like, "Don't talk to this devil worshiper like that." And Jesus said, "If I have spoken wrongly, testify to the wrong. But if I have spoken rightly, why did you hit me?" And then Anna in his blue bonnet uh, sent him to George Soros's ancestor, the high priest. Here we go. Peter denies Jesus again. Now, Peter was standing there keeping warm, and they was like, yo, you're the guy. And he's like, I'm not the guy. And they're like, you know the guy. And Peter's like, I don't know the guy. Oh, too many guys. And then one of the slaves of the high priest was like, yo, that guy right there, I know he teaches the word. I know. And then Peter's like, nah, I'm telling you, I don't know the fucking guy. And then boom, cock crow. And then in the other book, Jesus turns around and looks at him. And then Peter turns into a bitch. Oh, that's Captain. I thought that was blue. It's lucky, Captain. I don't know. I thought that was blue. Okay. Okay. And then the cock crowed. And then the trial before Pilate. So they didn't even get to the chronic masturbator Caiaphas. And they brought Jesus from George Soros's ancestor, the chronic masturbator, and brought him to the praetorium. It was morning, and they themselves did not enter in order not to be defiled, so that they could eat the Passover. What? I thought all this happened after the Passover. What is even happening? Oh my God. What is happening? But okay. So Pilate was like, what did he do? And they said, if he were not a criminal, we would have not have brought him to you. And then Pilate said, do whatever the fuck you want with him. What do I? Why are you bothering me? And they said, we can't execute anybody. In order that the word of Jesus might be fulfilled, that he said, indicating the kind of death he would die. So Pilate went back into the praetorium and summoned Jesus and said, are you the KOJ? Well, the King of the Jews. And Jesus said, do you say this on your own or have others told you? Because they're the ones that say it. And then Pilate's like, I'm not a Jew. Your own nation and the chief priests handed you over to me. The fuck you do, dog? And Jesus says, my kingdom does not belong to this world. If my kingdom did belong, my attendants would be fighting to keep me from being handed over to the Jews. See right here, even Jesus says the Jews killed him. So I don't know why they deny that they killed him. It's right here. They will be fighting to keep me from the Jews that killed Jesus. The Jews killed Jesus. But as it is in my kingdom, it is not here. So Pilate said, then you are a king? And Jesus was like, you guys said that. For this I was born, for this I come to the world, to testify the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice. And then Pilate said, stop talking in riddles. What the hell do you mean? You know, speak whatever language we speak plainly. What time is it? And people are leaving their house right now. It's 11 something. Who's leaving their house right now? Did Dustin didn't leave. Hold on. Yeah, Dustin? Okay, why does the phone say you're leaving? Okay, well, the phone said you left. Okay. So Pilate said, "Stop speaking riddles, dude. The fuck do you mean?" And when he had said this, he again went to the Jews and said, "He didn't even do anything. The fuck you guys talking about?" And then he said, "But you have a custom that I release one prisoner to you at Passover. Do you want me to release to you the King of the Jews?" And they cried out, "Give us Barbarus, the one we know for sure is a killer." Although they call him a revolutionary, he was definitely a murderer. But okay, we're just gonna go with that. Alright, give me 1 second. I will be right back. Okay, chapter 19. Then Pilate took Jesus and had him scourged. And the soldiers wove a crown out of thorns and placed it on his head and clothed him in a purple cloak. So here these people are playing Barbie with Jesus. I wonder if they sucked his dick while they got him naked. Motherfuckers. And they came to him and said, "Hail, King of the Jews." Yeah, right. They fucking wish that somebody as good as Jesus was the king of them. Fuck them. And they struck him repeatedly. Fuck these guys, man. Assholes. Once more, Pilate went and said to them, "Look, I am bringing him out to you so that you can find guilt in him. I'm not doing it." So Jesus came out wearing a crown of thorns and the purple cloak. And he said to them, "Behold the man." When the chief priests and the guards saw him, they cried, "Crucify him." And then Pilate said, "Do it yourself. I'm not. Nuh-uh. Nope. 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 The Romans aren't killing Jesus. Nope. Not doing it." And then these motherfuckers said, these Satan worshipping ass fucks said, "We have a law, and according to the law, he ought to die because he made himself the Son of God." No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He said, "Son of Man." He is the Son of Man. He didn't say God. He said God was his father. Just like you guys say God is your father. Fuck these guys. Hypocrites. Hypocrite devil worshippers. Fuck them. Now, when Pilate heard this statement, he became even more afraid. And he went back into the praetorium and said to Jesus, "Where are you from?" But Jesus did not answer him. See, Pilate is trying to save Jesus. That's pretty noble. I mean, he can't save Jesus, but he tried. Well, he could have saved Jesus if he really wanted to, but even Pilate was scared of the Jews. Fuck these guys. You should have killed them instead. And Pilate said, "Why don't you talk to me? Do you know that I have the power to release you? And I have the power to crucify you." Yeah, see, even Pilate was trying to save Jesus. Aw. And just when you think Romans are the bad guys. But even he wanted to save Jesus. And Jesus said, "You would have no power over me." So Jesus, the soft sit right now, if it had not been given to you from above. For this reason, the one who handed me over to you has a greater sin. Good. At least Jesus took into account that Pilate did try to save him. See, that is really nice. And consequently, Pilate tried to release him. But the Jews cried out, "If you release him, you are not a friend of Caesar. Everyone who makes himself a king opposes Caesar." Oh, these snaky devil worshipping pieces of shit. Fuck these guys. Man, they fucking suck so bad. When Pilate heard these words, he brought Jesus out and seated him on the judge's bench in the place called Stove Payment. In Hebrew, Gabbatha. Okay, so it was called Gabbatha. But again, this is the only place that says this. It was preparation day for Passover. Oh, so Jesus, did he die on the last day of Passover? Well, we can figure out what day that is because we know what day is the last day of Passover. So we could figure out when Jesus died. We figured out when he was born. There's some homework for somebody. Okay. It was preparation day for Passover, so the day before the end. It was about noon. And he said to the Jews, "Behold, your king." And they cried out, take him away, crucify him." And Pilate said, "I'm going to crucify your king." And the chief said, "We have no king but Caesar." Oh, you ass kicking devil, or ass kissing devil worshippers. Then he handed them over to him to be crucified. I'm so glad we didn't read this in the morning. Oh, this would be some shit to wake up to, wouldn't it? And carrying the cross himself. No, no, this is the only place this says this. Literally, the only place this says this. He went out to what is called the place of the skull, in Hebrew, Golgotha. And there they crucified him with two others on either side, with Jesus stuck in the middle with you. Clowns to the left of me. Two kids on the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Shut up, Nikki. That you need to shut up. That is not appropriate. That is not appropriate. Pilate also had an inscription put on the cross. It read, Jesus, the Nazarene, King of the Jews. This also is the only place this says this. This is the only place that this says this. And it said, now many of the Jews read this inscription because the place where Jesus was crucified was near the city, and it was written in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. So the chief priests of the so the chief priest said, do not write that. But he said, I am the king of the Jews. Pilate answered, what I wrote. Fuck you. You guys just killed an innocent man. Fuck you. When the soldiers crucified Jesus, they got him naked again. These people and getting people naked. Did they stand around him when his body finally relieved itself so they could bathe in his shit? Because it seems like something these motherfuckers would have did. No, shut up. So they took his clothes and casted lots. They also took his tunic, but his tunic was seamless, woven in one piece from the top down. So Jesus was in a onesie? Wow, that's pretty intense. Jesus was in a onesie. Okay. Everybody always has him in a like one of those preacher dresses, but this says he was wearing a onesie. So they said to one another, let's not tear it, but cast lots for it to see whose it will be, in order that the passage of the scripture might be fulfilled. It says, they divided my garments among them, and for my vesture they cast lots. So they want to get Jesus naked again because, yeah, that's a thing. Standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother. This is the only place that says this too, because no, it's always different Marys. This is the only place it says Jesus's mom was there, because I'm willing to bet she was not. And his mother's sister also willing to bet no. But Mary, the wife of Clopas, I don't believe that. But Mary Magdalene was there in all the stories. But there was another Mary there. And it's not, it's either Mary, the Sons of Thunder's mom, or Mary John's mom, James's mom, or something. But nowhere other than here does it say his mom was there. So, by process of elimination, we can pretty much guess it was not Jesus's mom there. Okay. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple there whom he loved, okay, so Lazarus was there. He said to his mother, woman, behold your son. Okay, so one of these other Marys is Lazarus's mom. And then he said to the disciple, behold your mother. And from that hour, the disciple took her into his home. Okay, so we can infer this is Lazarus and Lazarus's mom. After this, aware of everything that was now finished, in order that the scripture might be fulfilled, Jesus said, I thirst. This is the only place this is, too. There was a vessel filled with common wine. So they put, see, this story is different in all of them. So they filled it with common wine. They put a sponge soaked in wine on a sprig of hyssop and put it to his mouth. When Jesus had taken the wine, he said, It's finished. And bowing his head, he handed over the spirit. Okay, well, that was a bit deflating because none of the stuff he yelled or any of that is in here, but okay. Now, since it was preparation day, in order that the bodies might not remain on the cross on the Sabbath, for the Sabbath day of that week was a solemn one. The Jews asked Pilate that their legs be broken and they be taken down. Do you need me to press pause? Okay. Okay. So nobody said anything about their legs being broken, but okay. Okay. So the soldiers came and broke the legs of the first one, then of the other one. But then they came to Jesus and saw he was already dead. They did not break his legs. But one soldier thrust his lance into his side, and immediately blood and water flowed out. An eyewitness testified, and his testimony is true. He knows that he is speaking the truth so that you may come to believe. An eyewitness testified, and his testimony is true. He knows. Okay. For this happened so the scripture may be fulfilled. Not a bone will be broken. And another says, they will look upon him whom they have pierced. Here we go. The burial of Jesus. Oh God. After this, Joseph of Arimathea, secretly a disciple of Jesus, for fear of the Jews, asked Pilate if he could remove the body of Jesus. And Pilate said, okay, and dude came. Nicodemus, the one who had first come to him at night, also came, bringing a mixture of myrrh, aloes, weighing 100 pounds. And they took the body of Jesus and bound it with burial clothes, along with the spices, according to Jewish burial custom. Now, in the place where he had been crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb, in which no one had yet been buried. So they laid Jesus there, and because of Jewish preparation day, the tomb was close by. Okay, so they laid Jesus there. because of the Jewish preparation day, for the tomb was close by. All right. Tomorrow we read about the happy parts. Yay. We read about happy stuff tomorrow and then we're done. Tomorrow morning, we're done with John. So we start a new book. But anyway, it's so exciting. So thank you for watching. I love you and have the great no. So thank you for watching. I love you and have the sweetest dreams ever.